It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. Dawn has a long mustache. Dawn has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Hey, welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific for about an hour or 90 minutes each day. We have 3 gun-related topics, different topics throughout the week. We run it live on YouTube, and we simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the live comments that are coming in from everybody that watches the show as it's live. We appreciate everybody that shows up for that. When it's all over, we'll take the audio and post that to iTunes as a podcast. And we appreciate everybody that takes time to leave us some comments over there or any of the platforms where we post the show, YouTube or Gun Channels or others. Subscribing to our channels, giving us a thumbs up, all goes a long way towards having more people listen to the show, get the show recommended more. So we do appreciate that. There are 5 hosts. 2 of us are here today to start out the show. Daniel jumping in from, well, I'm assuming you're back in Illinois?
Yes, the land of Lincoln, back home.
And then we got me. I'm in Arizona. We don't know where Bob is. He had police came knocking, and I had, felt responsible. I went over and pointed at where he was, but he was gone. So he's on the run, and we're guessing he's either going north or south. We'll see if he checks in at all. Then we got Smeggy cutting the grass, I guess, or doing some kind of yard work. And Z will be in from the island of Maui when he gets done with one of his 9 to 5s. So it looks like we're on episode 311. 311. Nope, yeah, 311. We're going to be talking about the week. We're going to be talking about using gun channels as a social media platform. And we're going to be talking about the issues with ARs dealing with state laws that infringe on their ability to operate today. So before we do, though, we usually take a break before we get into the show to see what happened overnight, or in this case, anything going on.
No, I've been literally not in contact with the news or things going on at all for probably almost a week. So I'm really out of it as far as things that are happening.
Is this because you're trained up? Is this because now that you're trained up, you've got your mindset at a whole different level, and you don't care about what's going on in the world?
Well, part of it is when you take time off, or whether it's a vacation or whether it's just sitting at home and you kind of unplug for a while. There's a certain level of relaxation that's gained from just unplugging from what sometimes seems like the chaos of the world. So when I do that, sometimes I hesitate plugging back in, but it eventually happens.
So did you, I guess, have any time to figure out, I don't know, kind of wrap your mind around everything that went on at the class that you went to, plus all the recon you were doing for your other stuff, to be able to figure out what you plan on doing? I mean, do you think you're going to have a show about it, or do you think you're going to go on other people's show and let that be your venue to talk about it, or you're not going to bother with any of that, or have you thought about that yet?
I'm not sure, quite frankly, because I have, different feelings in regards to, some of the information, and can I do certain parts justice as far as representing it and that sort of a thing. And I don't want to misrepresent something. So I have that concern. But then again, there is some basic information that, doesn't necessarily require someone with, fantastic presentation skills to get across. So, I'm not really sure at this point. As well as I still got about 10 pages left to go for my note taking.
What do you mean? You're going in and redoing your notes?
Yes. I like to do that just as a way of reaffirming what it was, and did I miss something that was written down that we went through, but maybe I just didn't remember it, or I didn't remember it correctly.
Well, we had this happen over the weekend, which is bullshit.
Oh, and hate's gonna burn you up, kid. Keeps you warm.
Did you hear about that?
Oh, and hate's gonna.
That dude's dead.
Really?
Yeah. This guy, the older one, not the kid with the butterfly knife.
Well, yeah, I figured is the pilot. Well, that's too bad. How old was he?
I don't keep track. I think he's pretty old.
I mean, because he was not exactly a super young dude, back then.
No, exactly. But the last couple of things I've seen him in, he looks like he's been held together, with
Baling wire and masking tape.
yeah, I was gonna say whatever the doctor equivalent of that, because yeah, he doesn't look like he's looking like he's trying to look young, but he's pretty old. Anyhow,
Right.
he finally passed, so that sucks. Because yeah, been a lot of good movies. Everybody was saying that their favorite was Tombstone.
Now we have Bob from the road.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Just got into the campsite.
So where are you at?
Fountain, Colorado. Right outside Colorado Springs. So Flath is going to be here in a couple hours, I guess.
Oh, okay. And he's going back to Canada. You guys are gonna hang out for like a day up there? At least that's what
Probably just tonight. Probably just tonight. Part of tomorrow. This KOA is expensive.
How much is expensive?
Yeah, like $55 a night.
So
Yeah.
it looked like we were just talking about, what's his name? Powers Booth, the guy who was the pilot in Red Dawn. He was also in Sin Cities and Tombstone, and I was just going through to look at some of the other shows he's been in. Quite a few, though. 24. President. He was in Deadwood. Did you guys see Deadwood?
Oh yeah.
I've seen it, but I'm sure if I saw a clip of it, I'd remember it completely. But I know I've seen it.
It's the one about South Dakota and that little town that's the gold town.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal, a lot of prostitutes. Then he was in Tombstone, 1993. That's a long time ago, but Con Air.
I've always wondered when actors, like that guy, he was in movies, but the movies were somewhat spread apart in time. It's like, what did the guy do for a living between those years?
Oh, no. You're just thinking of the ones that you've seen. So I'm screen sharing here. Look how many movies we're talking about. 69 credits. And if you look at the dates, it's like multiple 2012s, multiple 11s, 2 and 10. Just 1 and 9. He took that year off, I guess. 3 and 4 and 8. Multiple and 7 while he was on Deadwood for a 2-year stint. So this guy was very prolific, I'd say.
Right.
Oh, he made a good living.
I was getting down here to Philip Marlowe. Do you remember that one from back in 83 to 86? That's where I think that's where I first remember him from.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was funny. It was a good show.
Oh, it was a comedy? Then maybe I'm thinking of something else. I thought this was like an old black and white, like throwback type of thing.
If it's the one, well, I don't know. I remember it being funny, but
Something. Well, anyway, maybe we're thinking of something else. But anyway, that says it looks like Red Dawn was one of his first things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's his 10th credit. And seeing as he's got 69 credits, that's pretty early on in his career. Southern Comfort, I think that was a pretty big movie. Anyway, so that Red Dawn launched the career. Another well-respected actor because of filming and because of being in Red Dawn. So it was 68, Dana. 68.
Yeah, and that's by today's standards, that's not medically considered to be old.
Burn. Oh, that heat's gonna burn you up, kid. Keeps you warm.
I
So
mean,
he says that he died in his sleep. Do you think all that heat burned him up?
hard to say.
Anyway, one of the more memorable quotes out there. All right, so we're just starting up the show here, Bob. You got anything that happened over the weekend or anything? You've been driving? Any event? Was the drive?
Nah, man, the drive was, it's a drive. Yeah, yesterday, like when I finally got to Walmart after however many hours it was like, man, I slept until just about 11 o'clock.
And your dog didn't wake you up to have to go outside?
No, he tried to. I wasn't having none of it. Hold it.
How far did you have to drive today then?
Today wasn't bad. It was like 130, 140 miles, something like that.
So 2 hours.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Well, so I guess if nothing else happened over the weekend, we did our scheduling show. So we did schedule up the show for the next couple of 4 or 5 weeks. So we've got it scheduled out for quite a ways. Thanks to everybody who participated in that. We're always looking for movies of the day and gun shops to feature each day. So please feel free to email those in to our email address, dailygunshow@gmail.com. All right, so I guess we'll dig into the show. This week, we always take a look at the week. We're going to be, of course, every day we have our gun shop of the day and our gun of the day and things like that. Tomorrow, though, or today, we already talked about. Tomorrow, we'll have Second Amendment issues, children and guns. Got a link here to some story that must have something to do with that. We have a good idea, bad idea segment on Tuesdays. We'll be talking about traveling internationally, I guess because of Bob and Cash. Oh no, Cash didn't travel with any guns. Then on Tuesdays we have Daily Gun Show, hashtag Daily Gun Showdown. So if you've been using the hashtag Daily Gun Show over on Instagram, you have a chance to be in the running for a photo event. Then we talk about a state each week, and we're talking about Kansas this week. So we like to talk about their state of the state. Wednesdays, we do a CCW topic, and we'll be talking about what to carry besides a gun, such as extra mags, knives, lights, tourney stuff, things like that. We have an entertainment segment on Wednesdays as well, where we'll talk about top gun songs. So I guess that could be interesting. And then on Wednesdays, we do the tactical quiz. And of course, at any point, any time in any show, we could have the tactical pop quiz. So we'll look forward to that. That does count for half your grade.
Including in mid-sentence of a really important point. It could happen.
Often. It happens all the time like that.
Yep.
Critical point of the show. Pivotal information right in the middle of that. It'll happen. So on Thursdays, we have a gun stuff, sort of a grab bag of gun topics. And this week it is what range games we play, various competitions and things you might have for fun out at the range or out in your backyard. Let's see, then we have a training segment of the show. We'll talk about professional gunsmithing. I guess gunsmith training. That sounds interesting. And then on Thursdays, we look at various shooting events. You look over at the calendar on gun channels. Anytime you want to post something that's going on in your area or something you hear about, watching TV or listening to a podcast or something, and they talk about an event, run over to gun channels, click on the calendar, post it, and then everybody knows about it. And on Thursdays, we'll help spread the word about it. Well, let's see. Then on Fridays, we talk about the alternative gun topics. And this week, is plus P really necessary? Interesting topic. And for some reason, we don't have anything in gun biz. So even though we just scheduled the show out for like 5 weeks, we missed the gun biz this week. And then
I guess that we covered at least the most immediate topics that had a hole.
Yeah,
somehow we missed that one.
Things happen. People come in and steal things. So, of course, like I say, we have topics of the day that we do every day. and you never know what kind of fun stuff's going to happen, like Gun Channel Story Time, which for some reason I don't see a topic in there either. We also talk about the patches over on the patch panel, and it looks like we'll be talking about Flippy's couch this week. So with that, I guess we can dig into the next segment of the show, unless you guys have anything else to bring up about our show this week.
Oh, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, I got nothing
about it because I got to go get something to drink. I'll be back in a minute.
Go right ahead. And while he's getting something to drink,
it's starting to sink in. Is it starting to sink in, that course you took?
Well, yeah. In fact, I'm still. It's funny that you mentioned sink in, but I'm still. I found that I don't want to say that I injured myself, because that's not really true. But I'm not fully physically recovered.
Yeah,
because I have some orthopedic issues that still a little bit sore from, but it's slowly getting better.
Yeah, you're not used to doing that kind of stuff, man.
Is that from last effort, or is that from like driving and sleeping on a weird bed?
Exactly. It's a good point, because it is a mixed bag, so it's kind of hard to say what was the cause of what, other than, you know, I had this orthopedic issue long years before I ever went through this class, and I knew it was going to be an issue. I don't think it really impacted what I learned. It's just that I knew there was going to be a couple days price to pay, at least, as far as trying to get back up on my feet again. So, but yeah, you're right. It's, sleeping in a place you're not used to sleeping, doing things you're not used to doing.
Driving for days.
Driving, exactly. For hours in a static position. I'm not used to driving. I don't do what Bob does, where I drive for half the year. Now I drive, but I drive for, a couple hours each weekend, not all week. So,
Bob's secret? Am I allowed to tell people, Bob?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Bob stops every 2 hours and enjoys the services of a lot lizard. Keeps him going, moving right along.
I would think it would more likely to put him in a nap.
Personal massage.
Yeah, just a roadside massage.
Yeah, time to get a good rub down.
All right, so that was talking about this week. We're about to talk about the next topic, but that means we're about to pause and feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. So this week we're going to have a bit of a theme to the members that we're featuring. We'll start out with was it Tactical Pomeranian? Yeah, and one of the members over at Gun Channels shows up regularly in the conversation over there, posts quite a bit, and it's one of the reasons we built Gun Channels. People that take advantage of the place and use it and communicate and network over there. Thanks for using.
Yep, I've seen them around in the text chat quite a bit. At least as far as when I've been on, I've not seen them in the hangout rooms necessarily, but he has been in the text chats quite a bit.
So it's kind of tough to figure out what the theme is off of just one featured member, but feel free to guess. And if you guess, then you have the pleasure of having guessed.
Tactical Pomeranian? Yeah, I've seen him in the chats.
See, Bob's seen him. So proof of Pomeranian.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only person that there was any doubt in was another person. and I never had any doubt. In fact, I'm the sole witness to that individual's reality.
Oh, snap. Do we want to talk about that? So over the weekend, I've been working on a deck of cards, right, for the next deck of cards in my series of deck of cards. And that got me over in the place where you buy decks of cards at. And farting around in there got me thinking about doing something for Gun Channels. So we came up with a chart. If you guys look on the Gun Show, our notes there's a tab in there now called member meetings or meetups or something.
Yes.
And if you look at that, it's got pretty much everybody who's ever met anybody on Channels. so you guys can check in there to make sure who's right or not, or if it's correct for you. But that's kind of interesting now that we actually have tabulated the data. Looks like Smeggy is winning. Wait, is it Smeggy? Smeggy and Marco are tied for having met 14 people each. Then comes me and Bob, tied at 13, coming in second. And then Pink coming in at 10. And then a bunch of other people, like Yankee and other people. So let's see, where's Dano at?
Where am I not seeing that? I'm not seeing the tabulations. I'm just seeing the...
All the way to the right. You have to go way to the right. Column
Oh.
AL and AM. So according to this, you've met 3 people at 3 particular meetings. So in other words, if you would have met somebody twice, it would show up as 3 people you've met, but then maybe 4 or 5 meetups.
Okay.
Anyway, is that true? You've met
Like P226 Nut. I've met him. Because he was the one with the table at the Wanamaker show.
Oh, so in other words, that one wasn't in there. Okay, so I'll put that in there.
And
I'll make it should bring it to 4. Yeah, there it is, 4. You ever met Flippy?
yeah,
Hey, I'm
one of the
met-
few people that have met Flippy.
I've met P226, and you don't have him marked down for me.
Oh,
Where
Bob?
did you meet 226?
At Tulsa.
Oh, you. That's right. I forgot you went to Tulsa. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now is Mr. Wright on here?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
because
I
I'm
got
one of. Because he's one of the few people I also met. And it's WRI.
1. Okay. Did you meet Mr. Wright, Bob?
Yep.
Or do
No.
you have that?
No. Or
No.
no, I did. Yeah, I did. At Tulsa, yeah.
So anyhow,
I also met Pink. I
You
met
also-
Pink at SHOT Show.
we got that in here. Are you looking
Tack
at it,
Daddy.
or are you just rambling them off? Because that's in here. Both of those been in here.
I think. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're on the top row.
Yeah,
Good
that's.
Now
That's
Bob
it.
is up to 14. So Bob is now tied with Smeggy and Marco,
What?
13. Bob just maneuvered his way into the lead. And he's about to maneuver his way into another lead because he just met Flath, or he's about to meet Flath in like 15 minutes. So he's about
Hey,
to win
Mr.
overall. Bob is about to be the ultimate leader upper of gun channels.
So, am I at least in the top 20?
You're not even close. You're at 4. Dano? No, 5. Well, I don't know. Of everyone on gun channels, probably. But on this list of people who have actually met people, you're at the bottom of it.
I'm at the bottom.
There's a couple of people with 0, like Matt from Never Enough Ammo. And there's a couple of people with like 1, like Moon. But there's quite a bit at 7 or 8. And then there's a whole bunch of us that are at 9 and up. But look at how many meetups Marco's been at. And Marco's at 35 meetups already. So he's attended 35 events or had the opportunity to meet people from gun channels 35 times.
Damn, I should have drove down to Brownsville and met up with Never Enough.
So I'm talking about this spreadsheet that nobody else that's listening to us can hear or see, but we'll probably do something more visually about that in the future. But the reason I started talking about that, about the cards, is that I just finished ordering a set of trading cards. So now there's going to be the first official set of Gun Channels playing cards, and there's enough of them so that everybody who has met anybody will get a card of the people they've already met, and then maybe a card or 2 extras. And then depending on how we want to go forward with it, we can make more. And then people who don't have any yet, could get some if they want, and then we could use it for trading or something else. But anyway, just kind of have some fun with it. We have a deck of those cards coming. We should see them by the end of the month still and get out to everybody.
Yeah, and then we're going to work out a game to play with.
I put dominoes on the back.
Yeah, but I still think that should be something that, you know, each member has their own superpower. Or
Yep, we'll do something like that. I just didn't want to wait around forever planning it, so I just went ahead and just got them going.
yeah, well, that's something that, you know, the group should be a group thing, and the group gets together and decides what the other person's superpower is.
That could be dangerous.
Subject versus individual think. Subject think versus individual think.
But anyways, I do think that's a cool idea of as far as like a collect them all kind of thing. When we all meet each other, we can trade.
Now, notice how
whether
Bob's
it's a game or not, you know.
Bob's view is very communist-like.
Yeah.
We will decide for you.
Trade kind of thing.
Well, come on, like everybody decides their own superpower. That's crazy. It's got to be something that the other people go, oh no.
With superpowers, we're talking about using the actual numbers of stuff that people have, like badges or meetups or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's enough of that. We're talking about something really specific to gun channels, and it's just a little side thing since we kind of got off topic there. So I'm going to head back over to the schedule, and let's get into how to use gun channels. Well, I guess we can consider that part of how to use gun channels, huh? So this is a segment that we haven't done in a while, but we probably should do on a more regular basis. But when we take this segment of the Monday show to talk about how to use social media and I don't know, the phones or the cameras or the software or the social media platforms, one of them is gun channels. So I'm talking to type in here, but eventually I will have my screen open or screen sharing here. So we're on gun channels. I don't know, what have we talked about in the past? I think we've talked about the 24-hour gun show where you can buy, sell, and trade. All kinds of stuff over there. Daniel spent a heck of a lot of time setting up the, what do you call these, category hierarchies.
Well, that's I don't know. I think this might be a decent time to ask the audience: is there anything that you've seen that you're a little confused about how to use it or whatever? And we'll take suggestions and explain a certain part of it.
Till then, I think I'll just go through the menu. At the top of every page of gun channels, there's a menu. You got community, resources, and media. And also added live up there, and then there's a little more. So the more is basically the site navigation and a place where you can click to donate or upgrade your subscription or whatever. You can always invite people, I suppose, and that's pretty much just some extra things. The live segment is pretty easy. The live segment of the menu is either the live lobby chat that a lot of people use to hang out in, or a live schedule, so you can see sort of a idea of when various live shows are scheduled throughout the week. We've got the media segment, which is a little bit of everything. Anything you can think of that has to do with firearms, we've got sections for it over on gun channels. The goal of gun channels is to create a platform for all things gun. So while we do a lot of live stuff here, the photos is a big piece of it. There's a lot of stuff going on Instagram with gun channels. Obviously, a lot of people that use gun channels are using videos. We've got the podcasts and that kind of thing going on as well. A lot of people, I don't know if we pay attention to that many blogs, but there are a lot of people out there that use writing and photographs together in a blog format to get information across. And those go back longer than YouTube or anything, really. Those are some of the first ways to get information out there. So some of those could potentially be really long, almost as long as the radio shows. We've got books, of course, so there's a library. When we talk about books and things, we sometimes will post them over in the library of gun channels. Same thing with periodicals, magazines. There's a couple of radio shows that we like to listen to. Liberty Watch on Sundays out of Tucson, Arizona. Come and Talk It. It's an syndicated radio show out of Texas. I don't know if we consider like we like almost a radio show. We cutting this segment short, and you're doing that.
No, I was playing with my phone by accident.
So then we got film and TV. We don't really do enough on that, but we have a segment each week on this show because we talk about that quite a bit. And Matt obviously has a show each week about video and films. So probably a lot of potential over here. Anyway, anything you can think of in media, we have a section for it over on Gun Channels. The resources segment or section of the site is what we basically moved over to Every Second Matters. The original concept was to have some resources for Second Amendment advocacy, gun owners' rights, but the place is more of an entertainment and communication place. So we moved a lot of that stuff over to Every Second Matters. But the resources is where you're going to find the calendar. We talked about that we're going to be using the calendar on Thursdays to talk about the events that are coming up. And that's where you can go in and click on create new event right there and create a new event for the calendar. Otherwise, underneath resources, we have the Gun Channels University, which is every once in a while we'll do an entire show dedicated to some aspect of using the internet as a communications platform, a way to get the word out, a way to rally the troops, a way to get a message as far as possible with as efficiently as possible with limited budget. And this is where we'll store those. This is where those videos show up. And when the shows are live, this is where the live chat is associated with them. That's again available underneath resources. Then we have the community where everything else is, the channels, the members, the questions and answers area of the website, and of course the 24-hour gun show. We are going to be doing the shooting challenge again here sooner than later, so stay tuned. We'll have a different target up each month, and the winner will win some kind of fabulous prize or whatever. So that's some of the stuff to do over on Gun Channels. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments. I don't know if you guys have been watching while we've been going here. Otherwise, you can always email us at dailygunshow@gmail.com or ask any of the moderators over on Gun Channels if you have any questions or if there's something you need assistance with. We've had new people coming in. Travis did a show on Saturday morning. Rick's been doing his show on Saturday afternoons, which is awesome. Of course, Sean does his show most days. Every once in a while, though, somebody won't be around for their show. Somebody else will come pick it up. And there's always admins or mods over there on Gun Channels that are willing to give you a little assistance or actually just set it up for you. So, again, it's all about helping and picking up the baton and keeping the conversation going. So the live stuff is fun, but we're also having a lot of fun with Autoloader and others. Every once in a while, some of the other Instagrammers will come along, and we have some pretty viral stuff sometimes on the Instagram too with the Gun Channels folks. So we'll continue to strive for more podcasters as well, and with the Gun Channels comic and the trading cards, I'm thinking if the trading cards are something people want to work with more, then we might try to get some artists in to take it, because basically the trading cards are just our icons over here. Maybe working with some artists, we can bring the cards up to the next level, use some of that art in the comics. And again, the goal of all that would be to get a bunch of people who are creative and on the same boat as far as Second Amendment advocacy, get a bunch of people working together for fun, so that we can work together effectively when we need to resist tyranny or to push give some momentum to some of the things like the Hearing Protection Act. Anyway, I don't know. Do we see anything coming in as far as questions?
It's time. It is time for the tactical pop quiz of the day.
Where's the clap?
How's that? Time for the tactical pop quiz of the day. Yes, I am back. I may not be in full form, but I am back. So
I just want to address real quick before you get going.
Sure.
People were saying, "Oh, I think it's the pop quiz. It's windbreaker time or whatever." That was my oven going off, so I'm now eating some delicious bagel bites.
Sounds delicious. But yes, I did have a tactical misfire earlier with my phone, but that's all right. But so those of you over on YouTube and those of you over on Gun Channels, put your cursor down in the text box, limber up your fingers, Smeggy, are you available to be a official today?
Yes, I have both windows open.
Excellent.
We're going
And
with the question listed here for Monday.
Okay, so you do see the answer as well?
Yeah, I see the answer.
The answer as supplied. All right. I will read the question twice, so here we go. The Colt single action Army pistol was offered in over how many calibers? The Colt single action Army pistol was offered in over how many calibers?
Didn't we do this one not that long ago?
I stole all these questions and used them last week.
Okay. For those that may have used the questions while I was gone, I'd like to say thank you for not moving them out of the active file.
Well, does it still count? In which case, Arctic got the right answer.
All right. Then we have a winner.
Oh, and then just after that, Diecaster got him in.
So
YouTube, you're dying.
Is it really winning or just remembering?
Hey, participation counts.
So
And in some
Arctic,
cases,
I don't believe Arctic has
remembering
won
is
before.
winning.
I don't believe Arctic has won before, so congratulations, Arctic. You are today's tactical pop quiz rememberer or winner, whichever it happens to be true. So congratulations. Head on over to dailygunshow.com/pop quiz. Fill out the form, put your first and second choice, Arctic, and good luck.
Where is that at? Which side?
That's on the gun channel side. And yeah, people are asking the answer was 30. Over
Yes.
30 calibers. So, Arctic, that makes you the tactical hot shot of the day.
Hey, that wasn't too bad, Smeggy. You must have been practicing in front of the mirror.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Good job, Smeg. So, yeah, we might want to review some of those questions that may have been used that didn't get taken out of the active pile while I was gone. Now, I don't.
Hold on. You put them into the schedule for last week.
Right.
So
And
if
then-
you put them in there and didn't take them out of your own active pile. Now you're blaming us because you didn't move them out of your own active pile. I'll take the heat because I did use them all up, but that's like setting us up to fail.
Okay. Well, on Friday, you didn't use the one that was there. You
I
used a
usually
different
went
one.
on
which is
Friday,
fine.
like on Tuesday. I used them all like the first day. Like I was telling you off air, we did a whole bunch of extra ones. We had like $20 worth of stuff went out this week because of extra answer and whatnot.
Well, I guess
I'll just admit it. You screwed up, Dano. It's okay though. We forgive you.
okay. Well, I guess just as a re-verification, if one of you guys that was here on the days I wasn't here could just do a quick verification that the active pile is still a good pile. Well, not
Although,
good.
you know,
has not been asked.
you don't review and watch the shows afterwards that you're not on just to know what was going on.
I think it's a lot easier for us to, we can agree to listen to your question and then tell you as it's live if we've already heard the question before.
Yeah, because it's so much smoother of a show.
Oh yeah. Well, we like to have that, you know.
As you know, as we have dead air and I quickly try to scramble to come up with another question and answer.
That's how the viewers know that we're live, like that we're doing it raw.
That is true, because if we were perfect, they would suspect something was wrong.
I just want to say out to Hawaii Volcano Squad, he's saying, do you mean gun channels is not well organized? No, that's not at all. It is possible the Daily Gun Show is not perfectly organized, but don't blame gun channels for it.
Yeah, that's an entire community of people that are completely well organized.
That's right. Just like a great big giant herd of cats.
All right. Speaking of that, why don't we move on? Every Monday we do try to talk about social media topics, and we do try to keep it current. So we have a scheduling show on the second Saturday of each month. We did that this Saturday, as I mentioned before. But if you have a subject that you'd like to know more about, maybe it's setting up something or using some, I don't know, camera or phone app or something that you're curious about. Maybe you've seen a product, you've seen a picture or something that happens in a video or some sort of a sound, a clever sound thing, feel free to ask the question. If we don't know how to deal with it, we'll take that as a challenge to go out and find the people that do, and we'll be happy to have them on. So we're not here to, this show isn't designed to just necessarily sit back and listen to. We want this to inspire and be participatory. So, use the methods that we've got, the comments on the videos out there when they're on YouTube, the comments over on iTunes. You email us, dailygunshow@gmail.com. But give us some challenges, give us some ideas on topics, and like I say, we're more than happy to help find answers to stuff that might be useful for a lot of people. All right, and with that, I guess we'll move into gun tech. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I was just going to say, maybe before we do that, speaking of audience participation, we had a question about how the badges work, and it didn't quite flow in the segment we just did, because on the Daily Gun Show, or the tactical quiz popped up. So do you want to maybe explain badges real quick? I just know you get them, but I don't know how exactly, like, how do people get them, or what are they, or whatever?
It's important to remember that you need badges. First off, that's
definitely, you do need them.
Basically, I think I was trying to do something with the credits. I forgot what project we were doing, and we were going to use credits to facilitate it. So this credit system, giving people a little token or a credit, was a way that we could participate with some project we were doing maybe a year or more ago on gun channels. And when I purchased the thing to do credits, they gave me this thing to do badges at the same time. So I'm cheap, so I took it and put it in. And it basically just lets us put up badges for like things like being a mentor, being prolific on Instagram. We used them for things like people who have attended an event like SHOT Show or the Tulsa Gun Show or NRA Show. People that have had, whatever significant achievements or whatever, we've created badges for them. So we just talk about those. Again, you can find them when you're over on gun channels by going up to the very top in the menu, underneath plus more, like the other stuff, the extra stuff in the menu. Go down, you can find them, and it'll give you a list of what the badges are, and then who's in the running. It looks like Pink is at the lead right now with Prophet and me, and all at 12, and then a whole bunch of people have 11, Dano and Foose and DB.
It's all those, big shows you guys keep going to.
Yeah, really, that's what's doing it. But you can do things like just take a lot of pictures on Instagram, make YouTube videos, and we'll be adding more badges. So if you have, it's kind of a gun channels thing more than a Daily Gun Show thing, but if you do have suggestions for badges or whatever, just talk about them in the lobby. Again, there's moderators and there's admins all around. So if it's a good idea, it'll float to the top and we'll know about it, and it doesn't cost nothing to add a badge. We're happy to add them.
Fall asleep on a live chat and get a badge.
Mm-hmm. Pass out from take a double dose in your medicines.
Well, and that's something too. Rick's just asking who issues them, and that was something I was just about to bring up. That's one of those. They have to be like physically or like manually entered, correct? Like by one of the admins or something.
Typically, what we do is we have this bikini model that arrives at your house, knocks on the door, brings them in. They're wrapped in bacon.
I'm now seeing where the questions are coming from. See, Rick's very concerned that he wants badges. So maybe we'll have to look and see if he's earned any badges.
I'm thinking what we might do is have like a kind of a, let's call it a homeowners association meeting on gun channels once a month maybe, and we'll get together and make sure everybody's badges are in line and everybody's hedges are trimmed well, that kind of thing.
Some of the badges are for literally not trimming your hedges.
No, you would get a demerit, not a badge.
Right, such as falling asleep in a chat.
Are you trying to kill me, G-Webs? I just want to ask. Are you trying to kill me?
What, are you eating tapioca or something?
No, I'm eating bagel bites, and that homeowners association thing just put me over the edge, and I almost choked and died.
I know.
Did you try,
Right on. Thanks, buddy.
Well,
you try squirting a bagel bite through your nose?
what if I was trying to do that to Bob? Now I know I can send him some bagel bites. Work on that.
Nah, I don't like bagel bites.
Bob's got
I like
insurance. He sold one of my tires, so now he knows I can't let him tie until he gets back here and I got his beard back up.
Borrowed.
I'm like, what is that noise in the middle of the night? You hear a little tinkling, like somebody tiptoeing in the backyard. Dog woke up a little bit. Didn't think it was anything. Next thing I know, Bob's like, I borrowed a couple of your tires, the battery, or tailgate.
That
Right,
was nice of him.
we'll move on to gun tech. I don't know. We've been farting around waiting for Z to show up, but I guess he insists on having a second job. Whatever.
Usually doesn't get here till top of the hour, just after.
Yeah, I guess it's been raining out there or something. So anyway, we'll move into gun tech. It says, unless you guys want to do one of these other things first.
No, let's talk
I'm
about
just curious, and I don't know if you mentioned this at the top, but did you mention the Powers Booth died? I just saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Top of the show.
He was in Red Dawn and Tombstone and all that. All right.
He was the F-15 pilot that was shot down.
Yeah. I figured you would have mentioned it. I just wanted to make sure.
All that hate's gonna burn you up, kid.
Mm.
Warm.
Now, it's hard to hear it because it's kind of short. What exactly is he saying?
The kid's got a wicked butterfly knife, and he's carving into the stock of his Madi AKM that it's modified to look like an AK-74. He's whittling in the marks that the commies that he killed that day. And then that Air Force guy comes over and goes, all that hate's going to burn you up, kid. And then the kid flips around his wicked but cool butterfly knife, and he goes, keeps me warm. And then that showed that Air Force guy, and he walked off a little wiser.
Yeah.
Down.
Gotcha.
Pivotal scene right there. Made men out of boys. Boom. You come out of that movie theater a different person, a human being, fully ripened human being, ready for war. All right, so I guess that'll take us to gun tech. No, we were gonna say gun shop. Is that what you're saying?
What's the gun shop?
I don't know. Which ones you guys want to do? Bob, you've been driving around looking at gun shops. Do you want to do ones we've seen, or do you want to do one of the other ones? Dano's been driving around. He alluded to a couple of different gun shops.
I got
Let's
one
do
here I
one.
can do.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dano.
let's do one of that.
All right. This is kind of a mini.
Dano, Bob agreed that it's time for you to do your gun shop today.
Okay. This is J&J Marine and Sports Sales, Service, and Parts. Gun, new and used ammo. As you can see on my screen. And let's see, go ahead and get out here. And
Who's J and who's the other J?
I'm not sure.
Used ammo? Really?
But it's,
Like, what is used ammo? Is that like just range trash they picked up?
But I decided a little while back that it was always a good idea that whenever I go to kind of a mom and pop gun store to always try to walk out buying something. I literally went through like 6 different things before I found something that the guy had in stock that he could sell me. And so I walked out of there with this new but out of the bag Glock 9mm magazine. And just to show that I actually did buy something. But the other thing that was pretty cool, let me show you the outside of the building, is you see like 3 different service doors, and 2 of them are for the Marine service. There's a fairly good, what do you call it, river or lake system nearby that a lot of people use boats to go fishing on and stuff. This is in southern Kentucky. And that third door on the left, right where that old Blazer is the gun shop. And you walk in there, and it's literally probably 70% handguns, 30% rifles and shotguns.
Are you seeing the picture, or are we just seeing the one picture all the time?
I'm only seeing the sign.
Oh, you're still seeing? Oh, you're not seeing the building?
No.
Nope.
Okay, let me try to move that over.
Hit the arrow on this.
It's not letting me change my. I won't let me change that. Okay, you see the building?
Yes.
No?
Looks like an old
Yes.
gas.
Okay, so that's what the outside of the building looks like. And the door on the left is where the gun shop is. The door in the middle and the door on the right is where the Marine Service is. Doesn't really do much in the Marine business. He's a Vietnam vet, active duty. He's paid the price as far as he's missing a certain limb due to the war, and is a very down home, very friendly, very outgoing, very positive person. Even though just from the way I speak, I was clearly from the north, and down there it's fairly obvious. It's not like you have to say something, or the first word is pretty much the indicator that you're not from there. But it was very warm, open, friendly area, and the shop was as well, certainly a reflection of that. And one other thing I want to show here while we got this going, if I can get my other screen share to show one other thing, is like every gun store is required to have, in my opinion, a gun store or gun shop dog. And this is a golden retriever.
What'd they do? Drop a box on that poor dog?
No, the dog saw me, and I wanted to get a picture of the dog. And I thought it was a very cute picture to have the dog poking its nose out, trying to get petted. So, and of course, I was petting the dog. That's why it was trying to get to me. But the dog knew not to push out past that door. Otherwise, it would get in trouble.
Well,
So I just took a step back, snapped the picture.
technically, wasn't doing nothing bad. He was still on the other side of that door, technically.
Exactly. And the dog knew that. But very friendly dog, great place to go. And certainly I would recommend it if you're looking to purchase a firearm. J&J Motorsports and Gun Shop is the place to go if you're in southern Kentucky, outside of Murray, Kentucky.
Yeah, right on, man. That looks like a neat mom and pop gun store. I like those.
Yep. And at this point, it's a pop gun store, no mom. So, great place to go.
Any gun store with a dog is a good gun store.
Yep, exactly. In fact, that's something that I have found as I've stopped at a couple different places, that it's almost like an unwritten universal rule that if it's a mom and pop or just a pop gun store, you have to have a dog.
No, did they have a picnic table and a coffee maker?
Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. They didn't have a picnic table, but they had a chair with a resting back and a pot of coffee. And yes, I had a cup of coffee because I had time. I was in that gun store for 2 hours talking to the guy.
So you were just in heaven then, Dano, right?
Yes. I mean, I wasn't interfering with it because it wasn't like there were other people coming in or he was busy working on something. So he and I just sat there and for 2 hours, shot the shit, had a good time, wished him a good day, and then went about my business.
What somebody could do, just as a interest thing, like a poll, you could call up gun shops that Dano is vagranted in, and then ask them, "Do you still have coffee out for the public?" And they'll be like, and then listen for their story. They'll be like, "Hell no!" And let me tell you why.
There was this northerner that came down to my gun store.
I never seen such coffee abuse.
He was in here for 2 hours. He would not leave.
He didn't have nothing to tape, but he insisted on getting some.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I did, just as kind of a positive thing, is I paid additional money for that magazine because he didn't even have it marked. So
then you kind of paid for the cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, I paid for the coffee maker, and the filters.
All right, I like this idea. Dog on the gun channel side is saying that they don't need background checks, you just have dog checks. So you just have somebody's gonna buy a gun, they have to reach down. If the dog sniffs them, is okay with them, then they can proceed. If the dog walks away or doesn't like them, no gun for him.
Yeah.
I think that would be a better way to just do it.
I actually agree 100% with that.
And if the dog jumps up and gives you a licking or something, you get the gun for free.
Yeah, and the I lost the picture of the dog somehow.
So then everybody would be walking into gun stores with after having wiped pork chops on their face.
Yeah, bacon and stuff. Like you rub yourself in bacon before you go to the gun shop.
Well, I was just at an FFL earlier today. I don't know if it's technically a gun shop. It's a dude's house, but it is an FFL. And he has a dog, and it was a very nice dog. So I pet the dog and said hello.
But isn't that amazing that it's like there's so many gun shop owners have dogs?
I just think there's a lot of people in this world that have dogs.
Yeah. It's common sense. Everyone's seen Terminator. Number 1, Terminator robots want your guns. Number 2, dogs alert you. It's just common sense.
And we've all seen the YouTube video where the guy comes in to try rob a gun store and the dog just goes right over the counter at him, takes the gun out of his hand.
Now, I do think it's interesting that the person that doesn't want federal or state extra interdiction is now willing to place your ability to own a firearm to a dog.
Yeah, because that is a good point. Because I
Dogs
agree,
are
most
Government's
good
not.
dogs know the difference between a good guy and a bad guy. I'd agree with that. But basically, you're saying DB would never be able to open a gun store because he would never be able to sell a gun to anyone.
The first guy that walks in with peanut butter gets all the guns in the shop.
Oh, that would be true, yeah. With DB, I'm sure his dogs are trained on peanut butter.
I just meant that
That
they
isn't
bark at
what I
everybody.
meant
I don't know
at
what the hell
all,
you guys
but
are talking
okay, Bob.
about.
That's the kind of stuff that'll happen. So you all knew it could happen. And anyway,
The thing is, see, dogs are going to be honest. And can you ever trust the government to be honest? So
I don't trust your dog, to be honest.
My dog's nice.
He's shifty, just like you freaking maple-choked Canadian.
I also don't trust your government.
Well, I don't trust my government, but then, hey, you guys don't trust yours, right? Makes sense. Who wants
I
to
do
trust
completely.
somebody?
My entire safety and well-being is in the hands of the state.
Yeah, but that's because you choose to live on a volcanic island.
Oh, they should just make eruptions against the law. Then you guys won't ever have to evacuate.
I think technically they are, like man-made.
Well, can man actually make an eruption? I suppose they put a big enough explosive into a fissure, but
That is how they detect atomic activity in foreign countries.
well, by
that's not volcanic activities.
by not throwing virgins into the volcano, you're kind of like asking for it.
See, that'll do it to you every time. I watched Joe versus a volcano and every other Islander flick where they had to appease the volcano god.
Right.
And technically, those were Polynesians; those weren't necessarily Hawaiians, by the way.
I'm going to suggest that we go on to Gun Tech, since I think
Sounds
we're
great.
at that gun shop now.
Ta-da!
Can you throw the name of the gun shop in there though, Dano, so we have it for the archives? If you wouldn't mind, or something.
Sure.
And then we'll go on to Gun Tech. So it says new loader for fixed mag ARs, mechanisms used to avoid the AR bans. So I think what we're talking about is the modifications made to 30-round removable box magazines that are either affixed or modified so that they don't detach from the firearm anymore, therefore redefining the actual firearm off of the ban lists or somehow keeping them off of the radar so that then they can still be used. I don't know if they can always be used at a 30-round capacity, but at least they don't have to be I don't know.
Well, I think this is in response to the California law. So one of the things on the features list, right, is the removable magazine. So then
That's almost like the preamble. Like that's condition 1 is like semi-automatic removable magazine. If it's that, then you can't have any of these features. So like the removable magazine part isn't technically a feature. So if you have an attached magazine,
it's mentioned in the
you get
law,
to ignore
though.
all the feature part. Like you can have whatever you want.
Well, it was a number if you remember before, right? You couldn't have like the three things, which was like what a flash hider, removable magazine, and was it a pistol grip or something like that? And like maybe even the
adjustable
barrel
stock,
shroud thing, right?
barrel
You know,
shroud, all that stuff. But that's
so
not
if you were
exactly
able
what
to
California's is.
eliminate one or two of those things, then that would allow you to have like the pistol grip or whatever. But now that they're changing the bullet button thing, I kind of think whoever put this in here was talking about the one where your magazine is affixed, but you load it through the dust cover, and literally it's about the size of a magazine. It's probably got the 20 something rounds in it. You take your thumb, you run it through the skeletonized inside, and it just drops them down and into your magazine that's permanently affixed to your firearm.
Really,
that was one of the reasons that we were this subject got put in here, because it's new.
expensive.
There's that one, and then there's one that opens up like the side of the mag and can do another similar way of like loading it from without being removed from the gun. But are those to avoid the classification as assault rifle, or do those allow them to put more than like 10 rounds or something because they're no longer, or in other words, are they still restricted from 30 rounds even though they're fixed?
Well, I know pistols was the issue for round capacity in California so far. I don't know that the 30 rounders were.
Because I know
Because anytime I saw that product demonstrated, it was pretty much with a full 30 round or mostly full 30 round magazine. But then again,
So
that's a video. That's not, legal, or definitively legal.
Right. So basically what we're saying is that a detachable magazine is limited to 10, but if it's attached, you can probably get however much fits in there.
No, the gun.
Is that what you're thinking?
The chats are saying that it's still a 10 round limit. So even though it's not it gets you past having, it's not classified as an assault rifle because it's not a detachable magazine, you still can only have 10 rounds in it.
So why doesn't everybody just buy SKSs and be happy?
So then,
because infringement is never happy, Bob.
Enrique, that's what Z was describing, is that loader that goes through the ejection port. And it is pretty clever. I don't know how much of a modification it is, or if it just happens that you can just load a mag that easy through there. But definitely a genius way of dealing with the infringement and working within the parameters of their bullshit.
Kind of an expensive stripper clip, though.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. So Rick's asking, how did Bob manage to get so far when his dog has to poop every hour?
One dog, 2 cups, I think, is the answer.
I trained him to just stick his ass out the window.
He only has to poop every hour when the show's on. When Bob's sleeping, he can amazingly hold it for 12 hours.
Hey, he's sitting here right now whining he wants to go out, and I'm not letting him.
Because the show's on.
He doesn't like hearing you talk.
My dog does the same thing, though. As soon as he hears me talking, he knows he can like get away with stuff because I'm distracted. Like he can take advantage.
Yeah, I think Smeggy's right on that. Right on point as always, Smegs.
All right, so I don't know. Do we want to talk about more about this? I mean, I've seen these things starting back like SHOT Show 2007, maybe. There was already magazines that you could load alternative ways, like put rounds in them and then release the spring, open a trap door, and release the follower.
Well, and also, what were we, like? Was it last month or the month before? We were talking about the one extra little milled piece that you put when you halfway disassemble it. You pop out the back pin and you lean it forward or whatever.
So like disassemble the gun. Now it's not assembled anymore, and you can take the mag out.
Right, because they changed their definition for an attached magazine. The definition used to be anything you need a tool to remove is considered attached. And they decided the bullet button followed, it was an attached magazine. So you need a tool to get that magazine out. Now they're saying an attached magazine is anything you have to disassemble the action in order to get the magazine out. So that would be, popping the takedown pin and then you split it open, you've now opened up the action. Therefore, you can remove the magazine.
Well, and I thought they might have been even loading them from the top. I'm not 100%. I don't remember if they were able to then kick out the magazine or not.
With the bullet button ones, you were able to, once you pop the takedown pin and you pivoted it up just a little bit, then the button would clear and the magazine would drop clean, and then you could put a full one in and then close your rifle and close the takedown pin. So there, you weren't loading it from the top. I mean, maybe someone had one that they did that also, where they just welded the magazine in place, and then you open the rifle all the way up and push them in from the top. In fact, now that I'm saying that, I think there was one because it had the little place to hold a stripper clip, was like in the top of the magazine. Like normally you have that little spoon if you're doing it like away from the gun, and it had a little guide in there. Kind of like that pistol that had a inside magazine. I forget what it's called. You get that little U-shaped thing, and then you push the stripper clips down.
So how the subject is like new loader for fixed mag ARs and stuff like that. I think they're going to continue to come up with stuff like we've talked about, and more and varied stuff, because of the nature of the laws currently over there. Specifically California, but then also New York, Massachusetts, and New Jersey, I think. So I think since this is a gun tech segment, I think gun tech is going to continue in one of these directions until, because if anything, there's a market for it, right? You got people that are, as they say, behind enemy lines. They have money to spend on stuff. They're gonna, you know what I mean? There's gonna be a market for it until the laws change.
Right, and especially once they realize that, I mean, well, for one thing, they're writing the laws. What they want to say is no ARs or AKs. That's what they want to say, but they can't just come out and say that. So instead they say, well, if it has this feature, and they think they're all clever, and then someone says, okay, that's, you wrote the law that way. This thing complies with the law the way you wrote it. And they're like, oh, crap. Now we have.
And how many years did they have the bullet button? Did they have it for 10 years or 13 years or whatever?
Yeah, I think.
Or even longer?
When 94 hit, California passed theirs, and then when it sunsetted, California just kept theirs. So, I mean, I think they've had it since, mid-90s or whatever. I don't know when it was invented exactly.
So people have been trying to be clever since then,
Well, they've been complying with the way the law is written.
Excellent point. And I guess that is the point, right?
Comply with the law until you can change it.
And that's the thing right there. It's not that it's not a loophole. They're not circumventing the law. They're following the law.
Yep. You said I need a tool. Okay, I'm using a tool. You said I have to open the action. Okay, I'm opening the action.
I have a somewhat different question. What happens if you are a tool?
Then you probably are already in the California government.
Oh, I was gonna say, like in Bob's case, like he's a tool a good portion of the time.
I think
A tool of the socialist man trying to keep us down.
I think you're being mean just for the sake of being mean. I don't like that, especially because he's not here, and it's funnier when he's here. So.
I guess I did miss that part. I'll wait till he comes back.
Who's being mean? Oh, Z again. Okay.
All right.
So I don't know. I get, just to kind of sum that up, I would go with I like that kind of stuff. I hate that it has to be invented, but I like the ingenuity and the creativeness of saying, okay, we have a problem, let's solve the problem. And then a couple different people come up with different ideas, and free market says which one works best. And
sounds like an engineer if I ever heard one before.
I wonder why.
All right, well, so if you got more to talk about, if you're shaking your fist at the screen or at the speaker because we didn't touch on something that we should have, then you can always email us at dailygunshow@gmail.com and let us know, and we can always readdress this topic. Oh, I didn't notice it. I know it jumped out. So, or we can, if you have something else to add to it, then feel free to let us know. We're going to jump into the next segment, but before we do, we're going to try to sell you something so that we can make a couple of bucks, keep the show going, pay for some of the shipping and some of the upgrades to the show that we'd like to do here. We've got a store. It's called gearwebsites.com, and I'm on the 2A design segment or section of the show, or of the site. It's called 2A for Second Amendment. There's just some various patches available there, and I think it's all patches right now. Two of them I'm going to feature today are our mini revolvers. These are new. This is modeled after the Rocky Mountain Arms, the first modern mini revolver that eventually became the NAA. Dick Kasul, the guy who is known for making the 454 Kasul and some of the larger revolvers, and then his friend, the guy from Frontier Arms, got together and created this little one and updated it, eventually sold it off to North American Arms, where it was eventually became what it is today. So this was one of my favorites. It looks a little more simple than the newest ones. So it's the first patch I'd made off of an NAA revolver. I plan to do a bunch of them. We had these made in a big run, so we have plenty of them. That makes them just $12 shipped. So if you want to grab one of these, we would really appreciate it. It keeps us going. It allows us to broaden our scope. We also have some PVC patches that are new, the stripper clips. So had some fun. I gave one of these to a friend of ours who I didn't tell him what it is. And we were sitting there eating lunch, and he kept looking at it, and he kept looking at it, and it took him, I don't know, a while. And the two of us were just sitting there not telling him what it meant until he figured it out. He really appreciated it. So if you want to have an enjoyable lunch like that, it's just $10 shipped. We have them in glow-in-the-dark, a limited number in green, so the green will run out pretty soon. We have a couple more of the glow-in-the-darks, though, and we encourage you to grab some for yourself and as a friend, or grab them for gifts for friends. Again, this is the kind of stuff that can help us move the show along and keep doing what we're doing online, and more importantly, grow. Right now, we're kind of just stagnant, so keeping purchases going and helping us like this will keep us moving forward, so we would appreciate it. And we don't have much sponsors for the show, the Daily Gun Show here, so this is one way that we do try to let people know how you can participate in keeping us going. So what is that going to take us into the gun movie, I guess?
Yeah,
Works
what is
movie?
gun movie?
I don't even know if this is. Is this really a movie? So we're going to go to a movie that is supposed to be gun related. That
We
you
should
might
do one of that dude's movies.
What?
We should do one of that dude's movies.
Oh, there's somebody thinking.
Owl.
We tried to do a gun movie. We tried to do a movie we might have seen in a while. And yes, Maggie's right. What's his name died. So I don't know what this movie is. Is this a gun movie?
Yeah, it's a gun movie. That's why I put it in there.
All right. So should we move it? Or
Here's the link. Yeah, we can move it if you want, but here's the link.
Yeah, I like that movie, but yeah, let's move it. Let's do something that's kind of topical, because the guy who's done a lot of decent, good gun movies, one of the best actually, gun movies, and that was one of his earlier movies. Just died today, so I think we should do one of his movies. Or
Let's go with who are we talking about?
The F-15 pilot from Red Dawn. Was it James Power or?
Powers Booth?
Yep.
That's it.
He died today?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I think so.
That's the guy that Hosh is in his avatar picture, right? From Tombstone?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wearing that guy's clothes, right?
Yeah. Great actor. Dang. Yeah, that sucks. Well, I mean, it would give us an excuse to do Red Dawn if you wanted, I guess.
Well, Red Dawn, and then the other movie that he's in everybody likes is Tombstone, and there's guns in that movie also. and I just
Guns
had
in a movie about Tombstone.
Well, and he was like also Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer. That dude was in a lot of stuff.
Yep. No, well, that's Dano was thinking that Dano was trying to figure out how did the guy live in between his movies until we went and G-Webs mentioned how many movies he'd actually been in, and it was like he was in like a couple of movies a year, so he had a good living. Maybe why he died at 68.
Well, at least a hard worker.
Yeah, he just did a lot of movies. What if he was a gambling addict or something? We don't know if he had a lot of money.
Oh, he was in Sin City. That's right.
Oh yeah.
And the second one, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bad guy.
I don't know what Appomattox is, but that sounds like Civil War.
Appomattox?
Appomattox?
As
Appomattox.
in Appomattox Courthouse is where they signed the treaty?
Have Wilson McCoy. So this one is old. I'm gonna go down to the bottom. It looks like Red Dawn was like his 10th movie or something, and he's done 69. So it was pretty early on in this thing. But I think Southern Comfort, we were saying before, I'm pretty sure it's a big movie.
Yeah, I think we moved that movie the other day too.
Think about that. That's almost that's a movie a year for his whole life. Even though, of course, he wasn't doing movies when he was a baby and stuff. But when you think about that,
more than that, Bob. Way more than that. He was only 68 years old. Well, you're saying his whole life, but that's 69. He was in 69 movies. He didn't start doing them until the 80s.
that's what I mean, though. But I mean, like it's basically a movie a year if you just take his life. And what a wonderful, because he did some really good movies. So what a wonderful thing to be able to say is that, basically once I wasn't a kid anymore, I made up for the years I was a kid, and I did a movie a year. I don't know. I was just thinking that.
Well, and here's the thing. It's not whether you can do a movie a year, or it's whether somebody wants to pay you to do a movie a year or not.
Well,
You have to be good enough to be in demand.
He's done a handful of TV shows too. So 11 episodes on Philip Mallow, Private Eye.
I remember watching
bunch
that.
of
That was
episodes of this, that, and the other. Family of Spies, 2 episodes. Like,
I think that a lesson Bob could learn from this is his goal could be to do one good podcast a year.
That's asking an awful lot out of the old man.
I mean, I've only done 300, and I don't think I got.
No, he specified a good one, Bob.
I said,
and we're still waiting.
Good ones in there. Oh, you're not waiting. Oh, fuck. You weren't even here for
President on 24.
I never really liked that show. Kiefer can go. We'll keep walking. I never believed his tough guy act.
Deadwood, we talked about that also.
Deadwood's awesome though.
Sin City, talked about that.
Man of Honor.
It says, I don't know what Justice League is. Is that a
The
cartoon
comic book thing.
All right. Well, so we didn't really talk about a movie so much as a dude, and now we talked about him twice because we basically did all this earlier. I guess when you guys weren't paying attention with Dano, and then
I was the only one asking. I wasn't here.
Well, I wasn't here during it either.
Yeah, those guys don't.
Yeah, what money you were paying attention? You're supposed to be pre-watching the show, just as you're driving and stuff, just to keep.
Technically, Bob, distracted driving in the state of Hawaii is a $150 fine.
Yeah, I don't do it either, so I shouldn't actually say it.
And I was limping around trying to cut my grass. So,
Is that what
Guns, Girls, and Gambling.
Nice.
12. That sounds like a good movie. He was the rancher.
Is it nice? That's got to be code for something.
Or he was just in it for 3 seconds as a dude standing on a ranch.
Yeah, then there's that. Well, he was the guy that brought in the chickens to the hen house, so to speak. All right, so that'll be the gun movie of the day. Powers Booth, excellent dude. Sad to hear that he's gone.
Hey, really young too.
Christian Slater and Dane Cook are also in that movie.
Which movie?
Guns, Girls, and Gambling.
Oh. I'm not saying that pushed it anywhere near the top for me mentioning those two guys. I used to like Christian Slater, and then lately not so much.
That was kind of my point of why I said, oh, those guys are in the movie. So maybe that's not a good movie, but it's a decent title.
Truly.
Well, maybe that was when they were into guns, girls, and gambling.
It's a crime thriller. I don't know, whatever.
So, what do we got left then?
Gun of the day.
What's that? Some European, nondescript, never been available in America because we didn't think it was good enough type of gun?
Brun-Latrige 1900. I mean, this thing, you look at it, it's a fucking ray gun, man. It is, Brun-Latrige Model 1900. It, honest to God, look at the pictures of it. It looks like a bloody ray gun from a 1920s space movie. I mean, it is so cool looking. It terrible caliber, like all those little automatic pistols were back then. Didn't have a detachable magazine, but it's just too cool.
Where'd you find this?
On the internet. See, as you pull the trigger, it actually, when you're pulling that trigger, that flip down trigger, it actually pulls the barrel back, which picks up the bullet out of the magazine. And then as it comes all the way back, then it fires a striker. So it's a striker fired pistol. It's just bizarre, but it looks so cool. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things I keep thinking, oh, it'd be so great to have one of these because you could use it for doing that. What do you call it? People do nowadays. They dress up in costumes, cosplay. Except this would be more like
a real gun, which they kind of frown on.
Well, no, they wouldn't even. Who would look at that and think it was a real gun? You know how
probably somebody in California.
You know how Yankee likes to dress up as a cowboy on Halloween so he can carry his single action pistols. This would be the same kind of thing, but you could do it when you were doing. Oh crap! I can't remember what that word that cosplay that dresses up like Victorian
Steampunk.
Steampunk. That's it.
So, is this a Russian gun?
No, it's French, I think. French, Austrian.
So it's never fired and only been dropped once?
It's it was just one of those early automatic designs. And you think about it, that's quite a unique design as a safety feature, that the round isn't even chambered till the trigger comes back far enough to pick the round up out of the magazine. I think it's a unique, ingenious, like Smeggy, you were just talking about how you like how people figure things out. Well, this is when they were just figuring out automatic pistols. So, imagine, but that's so cool. It moves the barrel back to pick up the round instead of, and it does that when you pull the trigger.
So how heavy of a trigger pull is that?
Well, I bet the striker
97 pounds.
No, I don't think it would be that much, right? Because you're only sliding a little, like I say, they're 7 or 8 millimeter cartridges, so pretty small little cartridge. It'd be like a little 22 almost.
There's a picture on the grip of this one of a guy on a bicycle shooting a dog. Fuck this gun.
Oh yeah, probably this dog was going to attack him, and it probably was rabid. They didn't have rabies shots back then for dogs.
This dog killer decided to run up because he didn't have the balls to do it on foot. He had to do it on a bicycle so he could keep up with the more athletic dog and then shoot the dog and then get away from the humans because they'd be murderous to.
No, they're French. They probably allow that stuff. That's probably not illegal over in France, if I had to guess.
Probably like something you can do, and then you cook it up and make a French souffle out of it.
Well, we lost any French viewers we might have had, but they also made a gun where a guy shoots a dog. And here's one where a guy's shooting little children.
Well, they were probably ragamuffins trying to steal his wallet.
Oh my God, Bob.
You only need the little
Not
caliber,
helping.
right?
Excuse me, sir. May I have some more? Get out of here, kid. Actually, the kid has a gun too, doesn't he?
I don't know. It could be a BB
It
gun.
looked like the one was running away. The one's on the ground for sure.
This
that
is
dude's running
definitely
away.
a man because he's got his little coat on, his top
Oh,
hat.
those are wow. Yeah. So that is a CCW gun. You know that, right? That's what's going on here.
This
Yeah.
child's already dead.
It's a pocket gun.
Ruffians.
Here's the child's toy that he was mistaken for something.
That's his watch. You see, he stole his watch and he plugged him for it.
I mean, even if that, why would someone put that into the handle?
Because
Like-
they were crazy back then, Smeggy. Come on, you know this. And
I
look,
need
does he
a
have
gun
two?
I need a gun to
He's
dispatch
got
them.
two. He's got one in each hand.
This
He's
is a
dual wielding.
hell because it has children being killed on the handle. Oh, okay.
Yeah, now, we always worry about, well, I shouldn't say we always worry, but there's been discussions about, like, do you put little things on your guns, accessories like smile, wait for flash, blah, 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 and like, oh no, prosecution, like, they might get you. Do you think if you had in the handle of your gun a dude shooting a child running away,
I
is
think
that
that's
gonna
gonna
help
be,
your
that's gonna be
defense?
bad. I think that's not gonna help at all. I don't think.
Back in those days, it would be just like, oh, you killed a couple of ragamuffins. Good fellow. We'll get them picked up in the morning. That was different back then, right?
People are worried about putting Punisher skulls on their AR
Plus, you
magazine.
gotta remember, it's not American. It's Europeans, Maggie. They think and do differently over there, right?
Well, it was a different world back then, for God's sakes. I mean, there wasn't all this political correctness.
Bob was in his teens at that time.
You could beat your wife to death as long as you didn't use a stick any bigger around than your thumb.
That's not true.
Right. You keep bringing that up.
That is true.
Maybe up in Canada, where they're
Yeah,
all
that's
choked
not
up on
true.
maple
Like, you-
syrup and
You
Canadian
took
bacon.
that whole thing of that supposed rule of thumb, like you can beat your wife as long as it's smaller than your thumb, but it was never you could beat her to death. It was just like you hit her a couple
it was
times as
legal.
long as it
If
wasn't big. But whatever, it doesn't matter. That's stupid.
Yeah,
So
but she died because you were beating her. As long as your stick was no bigger around than your thumb, you were within your rights. And I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
So I don't know what just happened, other than now we just lost all of the French viewers and now all of the women viewers.
yeah,
All the
so
women on-
there you go, Bob. There's no more French women watching the Daily Gun Show.
It's
You're a
Mother's Day.
jerk.
It's not Mother's Day. That was yesterday.
Now let's talk about Flippy's couch.
What?
I saw this
Well,
picture.
we're
On,
going to couch
thought-
today.
Look at that couch. This is Flippy's couch.
Look what's
right
on the end of that couch. On the very end of that couch.
It's a very gay-looking couch, though, for a dude.
Bob, I think you totally missed that whole thing.
No, I'm
Because
saying-
that's
I mean,
pretty. At the end of that couch, at the very, very, very end, that's pretty.
You're talking
That's-
about the EOTechs in a row?
Nope.
Yeah.
That's not the end of the gun I'm talking about. I'm talking about the end of the gun that's going out of the picture frame. Why is it going out of the picture frame? Because
Well,
it's
'cause it's
got a suppressor on it.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
it's
cool.
I guess
How
the other
many
goal-
suppressors do you have on your firearms, Bob? That you can post on Instagram?
I don't need them. We're not worried about our ears.
That's because you're deaf already, but that's beside the point.
What?
So your answer is 0, the same as mine, correct?
How come I didn't see this picture?
You don't pay attention.
Oh, it's from May 2nd. Okay, you said you saw it earlier today. I was like, what?
No, not
You
today.
said recently or something.
Yeah, I just seen it.
You just seen it. Okay.
All right, so that's Flippy's couch, though. Everybody knows what his couch looks like now.
I like the comment. I don't think that's what the man meant by 3-dot sight. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that's his Flippy. Though trying to look. I put 3 EOTechs in a row, so they must be 3 times as accurate.
It's not a couch, it's a chair. What?
Looks like a couch to me.
Yeah,
Like a
still,
love seat. Or just a big chair.
maybe it's a big chair, but you know, it's still like that pattern.
I mean, they do stuff bigger in Texas, right? That's the whole point.
Oh, I'm not even going to touch that one. That was just a setup.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that's an okay couch.
All right, well, let's go on to something else because that kind of went flat.
Yeah, it's like we almost stopped just paying attention to the show.
Here's a question: did Flippy use hashtag Daily Gun Show?
Probably not.
No, he didn't. What a jerk.
I don't care. So next, the last thing I think we got today is the picture of the week. So going over to the pictures, I guess we'll browse photos. And we'll pick a photo of the week. Sort of like what you guys do with the hashtag thing, except this is over on Gun Channels.
So in other words, you don't have to be Instagrammy in order to do it?
No, in fact, it has nothing to do with Instagram, I don't think. So it looks like somebody's been posting, Ohio's been posting some pictures of his targets there. Got a Stormtrooper one. Ammo collection.
Okay, I like this. I like the Stormtrooper one. I think I'm voting.
Stormtrooper.
Funny that the subject of the British Crown should relate to something from the evil empire.
Oh, har har.
Well, I like that. Congratulations, tactical quiz winner.
You know what this is from?
No.
Just say yes. You don't know the movie? Z? You know the movie that's from?
I think I do, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Because that looks familiar. Especially with the Pepsi.
I was gonna say it looks like a cup.
Oh, nice. Yeah. With the product placement.
All right, so we'll do an answer ambush. Drop your pencils. This is not open book. First one on the Gun Channel side, or I guess the YouTube side, to come up with what movie that picture there is from, wins. And
We have a winner already, by the way.
Got it.
Yeah.
Boom. That's how fast it happens on the Gun Channel side.
That's how you survive an answer ambush. You know the answer ahead of the ambush.
YouTube side is probably like,
They're probably just now hearing it.
what now?
Yeah. So, Angry American, congratulations. You survived the answer ambush.
Oh, and here comes YouTube. Itchy goatee. Just came in. But you were late. I'm telling you, I did a test. I typed something in on my phone. I watched both of them on my computer, and Gun Channels came up a good second before it popped up onto YouTube.
Well, and here's the other thing. If you haven't refreshed lately, sometimes you're not all the way live on YouTube either.
Well, I'm talking just the chat itself. I had both windows open on my computer, and I just typed in test on my phone. And then I watched onto my computer to see which one popped up first. And it popped up on Gun Channels before it popped up on YouTube. So that's where it's not even the video part lagging, although that does happen. It's the text chat itself lags.
So as an ambush survivor, Angry, you know that counts as a win. So we definitely want you to go over there and fill out the form. Fill out the papers.
I can't fill out the papers.
And the answer was dodgeball, if we didn't say it.
Yes.
Anyway, so I guess that's also our picture of the week. So that's what we're doing. So if you want to post pictures over on Gun Channels, do it. And on whatever day we'll be doing on this show, picture of the week. Maybe they'll be doing that on the early shows. We don't know.
Nice.
All right. I think that wraps up episode 311. 311.
Ooh, amber is the color of your energy.
Oh, goodness.
What?
That's one of their songs.
Oh, I was going to say, I think all that hate's going to burn you up. Trump's.
Keeps me warm.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
All right. So otherwise, we would have done a 311 song, perhaps. So then that makes tomorrow episode 312. It's Tuesday, so we'll be talking about Second Amendment issues, children, and guns. Since we all have so many children, we'll have all on that. Then we'll have a good idea, bad idea, traveling internationally We've all had to deal with the repercussions of that, so we'll all have opinions on it. We'll have patch panel story time. We'll have patch panel story time, and then the hashtag Daily Gun Show showdown. We also talk about myth of the week, new segment. I forgot. Tony brought that one up, I think. Somebody brought that one up, or no, I think brought that up. Anyway, this is typo. 9mm is a bad round. No, that should say the myth.
I should have a question. No, a question. A question at the end of it.
Well,
is it?
No, because myths are normally statements, and then it's either confirmed or, busted.
Yeah, we'll bust that myth. So we also have movies every day. Tomorrow it'll be 100 Rifles.
Nice.
Wednesday, Blue Thunder, helicopter movie. Thursday, Red Heat, corny movie from the 80s.
Excellent movie.
Friday, War Wagon. Is that a cowboy movie?
Yeah.
Black and white? And then,
No color.
It is color? Okay. So if you want to check out some of those movies, kind of like a book club, get you ready for it, then you can have something to contribute. And the whole point of the movie of the day is to give you an idea of some movie you haven't seen in a while. So I know I haven't seen any of those in a while. 100 Rifles. I'm not even sure if I've seen that one.
I think that's Burt Reynolds, Jim Brown, and Raquel Welch.
And definitely a James Brown Western. That'd be a good one.
No, yeah, Jim Brown.
Raquel Welch.
We wants to hear Bob thinking about it.
Yeah, I think we should change the movie of the day tomorrow because I don't know that I ever need to hear him say that again.
Well, I think with that, we will see you tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. That makes it 4 Pacific. And we will leave that.
All right, so that's going to closes up for the day. For today, we like to end with a quote. This one's by Dwight D. Eisenhower. And before that, though, I want to remind everybody, please like, subscribe, share. And if you don't belong already to the Daily Gun Show YouTube channel, please go and join it. It's the Daily Gun Show. So anyway, on that point, thanks everybody watching, listening, and we will give you the quote here. What counts is not necessarily the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And that's by Dwight D. Eisenhower. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.
Come on, buddy. Come and down. Sit straight. 1, 2. You are me. Shoot.